KHOU 11 News at 6 starts now.
Hi, everyone. It's great to have you with us for this digital webcast. I'm Marcelino Benito. Tonight, 2 people are dead and at least 2 more are fighting for their lives at this hour after a shooting broke out overnight in Houston's northeast side. Police say people were out enjoying a block party when someone drove by firing rounds into the crowd. Katira Winfrey spoke to people who witnessed that chaos.
A party scene turned into a crime scene at the corner of Laura Copy and Lockwood. Shots rang out in the middle of the night, sending people scrambling. Sanaa Hillary was in the thick of it, telling herself to stay low and try to live.
It was a lot of chaos, gunshots, cars trying to get away. It was just a lot going on in the moment.
Crews kept the scene taped off for hours. That's when Hillary learned 2 people had been killed.
When I learned who was actually killed, I grew up with them and went to school with them, and it was just a senseless act of violence that could have been avoided.
Police haven't released names, but family members on scene told KHOU one victim is 23-year-old Breon Stewart. The second victim is 24-year-old Jarvis Faltree. 9 more people were hurt. Police say 2 still clinging to life.
They just kept on coming, and I just laid on the ground and still got hit.
I spoke to one man who was shot in the foot who came back to the scene still in his hospital clothing to try to get his car. He says he was trying to get food from that barbecue pit right there when shots rang out and the chaos began.
It was all good and dandy, and all of a sudden, just like you said, just hell broke loose.
In the hours it took investigators to collect evidence, a steady stream of people turned up on scene in disbelief and grief. So now sit candles and balloons, symbols of care in a time of tragedy.
You got to put the differences to the side. You got to think about the safety, and these are lives that people are taking.
Reporting in Northeast Houston, Katira Winfrey, KHOU 11 News.
Katira, thank you. As shooting victims continue to recover tonight, police working to track down the shooters, but they need your help.
We respect the severity of this, and we understand the worry that it causes people, particularly in this area. So with that in mind, now is maybe a better example than any, that we rely on the public, we rely on tips, we rely on this community. So if you saw something, if you know something, give us a call, 713-308-3600.
Also tonight, we're learning the fate of a Houston man who's accused of shooting a Precinct 4 deputy constable in the legs back in 2017. 44-year-old Constantine Argurio is sentenced to 50 years jail time for aggravated assault of a public servant, which, according to the district attorney's office, carries the same punishment range as a murder charge. 7 years ago, Deputy Constable Justin Gay was responding to a family violence call to Argurio's home. According to court documents, both Deputy Gay and the suspect got into a fight while trying to detain him. That's when Argurio pulled out a pistol and shot Gay 7 times in the legs. The deputy constable is said to be in good health and tells us he has no hatred for Argurio. In the next hour, friends and family will come together to honor the life of 61-year-old Karen Miles. A prayer vigil will be held at Emmanuel United Methodist Church on Glen Valley Drive. The service will start at 7 p.m. Family members tell us Miles was a beloved member of the Houston community, part of the Livestock Show and Rodeo's Black Heritage Committee. And just last night, we learned the man caught driving a car belonging to Miles is now charged with her murder. This comes after Missouri City Police say skeletal remains have been positively identified as Karen Miles. She disappeared after leaving work. That was more than 3 weeks ago. Devontae Clark is now charged with capital murder. He's currently being held in the Brazoria County Jail. On August 25th, Pearland police officers pulled Clark over while he was allegedly driving Miles' car with stolen license plates from Arkansas. Investigators with Missouri City say they expect Clark to be extradited to Harris County soon. And of course, we are continuing to follow this story very closely. You can read all of our previous reporting, including our interviews with Miles' family. That is all on our website, KHOU.com. Let's jump outside now and talk weather, taking a live look over Galveston on a hot and humid day across the area. Meteorologist Pat Calvin is back with us tonight. Hot and humid weather, Pat, making a comeback. So what's the rest of the weekend looking like?
Yeah, hot and humid weather is here to stay. You can see even as we get into the middle part of the month, we're expecting those temperatures to remain above normal. And it is a hot one out there this afternoon. We've got temperatures that are in the mid 90s. We topped out in the upper 90s today. So just some big time heat out there. Certainly feeling a lot more like summer. My graphics, this is live TV, folks. My graphics are not cooperating at the moment. I don't know if it's possible with our producer, if we can jump ahead to the next story and come back to weather, because we have a really busy forecast. We got a lot to talk about, including a storm chance for tomorrow.
It happens, Pat.
Yeah.
And you're fresh off vacation, too. It just happens.
Yeah.
We'll move on. We'll come back to you in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. There are now 52 days until Election Day, with mail-in voting already underway in some states. CBS's Christian Benavides reports the latest from both campaigns tonight.
Former President Donald Trump in battleground Nevada Saturday, making a stop at the Las Vegas Police Protective Association.
Nobody can believe how bad they've done at the border, running our country, the economy, inflation.
After spending much of the week defending his racist claims made during this week's presidential debate that Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio are eating people's pets.
They're eating the dogs.
Doubling down, even as some schools there were evacuated Friday for bomb threats.
I don't know what happened with the bomb threats. I know that it's been taken over by illegal migrants.
Vice President Kamala Harris spent much of her week in Pennsylvania, venturing into parts of the state that trend red, making an appeal to moderates.
I feel very strongly that got to earn every vote, and that means spending time with folks in the communities where they live.
She's also speaking at an event in front of the Congressional Black Caucus. All this as Trump defends his relationship with 9/11 conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer.
Laura's a supporter. I don't control Laura. Laura has to say what she wants.
Who has been spotted with him this week. Loomer posted the White House will smell like curry if Harris is elected. Trump later posted that he disagrees with some statements she's made. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
And here's a look at some of the key deadlines ahead of the election. October 7th is the final day you can register to vote. Then early voting starts on October 21st. And the last day to apply for a mail-in ballot is October 25th. Election Day, the big day, is Tuesday, November 5th. Now taking a look at some of the other top stories we're following for you this evening. In Alice, Texas, dozens of high schoolers have turned themselves in to district officials after receiving citations for underage drinking. In a statement from Alice ISD on Friday, the superintendent said 42 of the 84 students cited for drinking at a party last Sunday have come forward. Punishment for these students will include suspension and mandatory drug and alcohol counseling. As for the parent who supplied the alcohol, they've been arrested and are now facing charges. Cheers and parade floats filled the streets in downtown Houston this morning as celebrations are already underway for Mexican Independence Day. This is the first Mexican Independence Day parade put on by the Consulate General of Mexico in Houston and Greater Houston LULAC, with over 60 organizations participating. Mexico's official Independence Day is on the 16th. And in East Houston, community family centers kicked off Hispanic Heritage Month one day early with their Festival de la Familia. Families were able to immerse themselves in the Hispanic culture with live performances by mariachi bands to folklorico dances and enjoy traditional Hispanic dishes by local vendors. Hispanic Heritage Month officially starts tomorrow. Alrighty, are you ready for Sunday Night Football? Because the Texans are in prime time against the Bears at NRG. Here's a live look over the stadium right now. For the first time in 3 years, that roof will be open for tomorrow night's home game. Air 11 flew over the stadium yesterday, where we found crews installing new panels on the roof. Those were damaged by Hurricane Beryl. And after Sunday Night Football, we'll have the live post-game news conference on our free streaming app, KHOU 11+, and our sports team will deliver analysis on what is hopefully another Texans win. You can download the app on your Roku or Fire TV. All right, let's try one more time with Pat. Hopefully the computer's all straightened out and you got the forecast for us, Pat.
Yeah, I got all the bugs worked out finally. Okay, let's take a look at that tailgate forecast for tomorrow. It's going to be hot. That's the bottom line. And there may even be a few sneaky storms, maybe just before kickoff at 7:20. So I think at least the early hours of tailgating look fine. Again, just really hot. We'll see if the storms can hold off. If you get inside, around 6:30, I think you'll be okay. I think the storms may hold off until a little bit later, but still, I want to have an eye to the sky for tomorrow. Live look over downtown. A lot of sunshine, and boy, is it hot outside. Again, 94 right now. Sunset coming up at 7:27, getting earlier and earlier every day. We could use an earlier sunset to get these temperatures down. 97 right now in Katy, 95 Jersey Village and Spring, 93 Edo, Deer Park, 89 in Webster, so a little bit of a cooling influence there off of Galveston Bay. 85 in Galveston, 87 Mont Bellevue, but everyone that's away from the water, well into the low and mid 90s. And you throw in the humidity, it feels just brutal out there for September. It feels like 108 in Sugar Land, 104 Katy, 102 Conroe, 99 at both airports, 97 in Galveston. That was the actual high temperature today at Busch, 97 degrees. And we woke up at 80 degrees, so just a brutal day of heat and humidity. We should be in the low 70s and 90s. We're not going to be close to that for quite some time. We are tracking the potential for some afternoon storms on Sunday. Then the heat builds this week with no cool downs coming up in the near term, unfortunately. Nothing out there right now on satellite or radar. Really, the entire state very quiet. Just a couple of rogue storms there out through south central Louisiana. For the evening, we'll keep it dry. A couple extra clouds out there. Temperatures drop from the 90s into the 80s, probably around 9 to 10 p.m. And I think we'll stay in the 80s for a good part of the overnight, upper 70s then by tomorrow morning. Then for the afternoon tomorrow, it's scattered storms possible afternoon into the evening. So again, if you're tailgating, you'll just want to have a way to keep an eye on the forecast while you're in the parking lot. And then looking ahead to next week, the heat does start to build. Let's take a look at future track though. As we go through the overnight, things should stay quiet. Tomorrow morning, we're quiet. A lot of sunshine for a good part of the day. There's noon. Again, nothing going on. As we get to about 4 and 5 o'clock, this is when downpours and storms start to approach the area. I do think it's going to start north of town first, which is why I think the tailgaters may be okay. But as the evening goes on, notice 7 o'clock, this is when we start to get some of those bigger storms into the city. So tailgating may be okay, but if they have the roof open for the game, could be a different story. So the rain chance is there. Just work that into your plans if you're going to the game tomorrow, and then things settle down around 10 and 11 o'clock. Then the heat is on for this week. So 96 tomorrow, 97 on Monday and Tuesday. And we dip back to the mid 90s here for the rest of the week, but still above normal. Our average this time of year is 91 degrees. And it looks like we stay above normal as we go at least through the third week of September. So that summertime warmth trying to hang on. Quickly in the tropics, two features we're watching. One is Tropical Storm Gordon, looks like a fish storm. The other one here, 50-50 chance of developing in the next 7 days off the southeast coast. That will stay away from the Gulf and stay up the East Coast, but still something to keep an eye on. 77 for the overnight, a lot of humidity for tomorrow. 96 with those afternoon storms possible. There's your 7-day forecast. We'll do 97 with sunshine Monday, Tuesday. A long, dry stretch of weather with temperatures staying in the mid to upper 90s. Chief Meteorologist David Paul says that September around Southeast Texas is the worst month. And the reason for that is because it's hot, when everybody wants it to cool down.
Yeah, we're all ready for fall, and we have to put up with it a little longer.
I know, a little bit longer. Hopefully things start to turn around by the end of the month.
All right, thanks, Pat. That's our time for now, but we've got you covered anytime on KHOU.com. We'll have a lot more coming up at 10 tonight. We'll see you then.